It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Wolfer, and this is Graphic Tales, the YouTube show for comic book creators, comic book publishers, comic book readers, and anyone who misses the smell of a freshly baked creepy crawler coming right out of the thing maker. And sniffing those fumes might explain a few things about why I am the way I am. So this is Graphic Tales. This is a show where I talk about comics, and part of the comic book community and the comic book mentality now in 2025, and it has been this way for a while, has been fans know so much about every aspect of the thing they love, right? That's fandom. You don't just love the thing, you love the creators. You find out, like the old sketch on Saturday Night Live with William Shatner, you find out what they have for breakfast. So you find, like the fan has to know everything about the creators. They have to know everything about the distribution system. Fans need to know everything about every aspect of the creators' lives and the publishing company's day-to-day workings and all of that, Man, when I was a kid, you just went to 7-Eleven and you went to the spinner rack and you got a comic and you read it and you loved it and you didn't care what Stan Lee was doing for lunch, and that stuff didn't matter. But today it's so damn important, for some reason. We have social media now, which means we can see into the heads of those creators whose work we love so much. And over the past few years, we've been finding that we don't necessarily want to be in the heads of some of those creators, because we found out about where they stand on societal and moral issues, and regardless of what they write about, regardless of the wonderful sentiments that are embodied within their works, we find out that as human beings, some of them are really shit. And it's disturbing, and now it places new restrictions upon the fan. They have to decide now, let's see. Number one, do I keep all of the stuff that I've collected from that person now that I find out that they're a real asshole? Number two, do I buy anything in the future from them? Because I like their stuff, I just don't like them. It's tough. And I find myself in that position also too. There's been some musicians whose work I've always enjoyed, and I have tons of their albums and stuff, and then I find out that they're not good people. And I say, okay, so what do I do here? Do I get rid of those albums, or do I keep them? Do I listen to them again? Because now, every time I put that album on, all I can think of is the thing that I saw them say on social media. Maybe that's just me. I mean, maybe other people can turn that off, but I have a problem doing that. I don't know. I just have a faith in humanity, and I just want to think the best of everyone, and I think we should all strive for being the best people we can be. Not creators, not writers, not the best artists. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being a good person, and being compassionate, and being sympathetic, and being empathetic, and being all of those thetics. That's not how the world works. I mean, I understand that, and I know that everyone's entitled to their opinion and all, but so when it comes down to social media, though, how do you represent yourself on social media? It's something to think about. If you're going to be a creator and you're going to be trying to reach consumers and make new fans of your work, you have to be conscious of what you say on social media, because you might be turning off a portion of your audience, right? You might say something, political, and half of your fan base goes, "What? I don't believe that." And over politics, they're going to stop buying your work. I've seen it happen, and it does happen, So I've had to think about that for myself. How should I present myself on social media? Now, I know other comic book creators who have a pretty large social media presence, and everything they post about is about their work, and that's it. They say nothing about politics. They say nothing about what's going on in the world. Everything is just, new book, buy it. New book, buy it. That's it. And while that's a very valid sort of promotional technique, I don't view social media as being only for promotional purposes. It's for me to portray who I am to the reader. I want fans of mine to know who I am. I could keep my mouth shut and just happily take their money and keep my ideas to myself, That's really, probably a wise thing to do. However, no one's ever said that I was a wise man, and I've never claimed to be either. So I open my mouth on social media. When I see something that I disagree with, when it comes to other human beings being harmed, I say something. When it comes to policies of political leaders that are meant to denigrate and malign different marginalized groups simply because they're different, I don't agree with that. And I think somebody needs to say something. Every one of us needs to say something. Now, when I do that, I run the risk that someone who has been buying my work for the last 30 years, who does not align with my views politically, is going to say, "Fuck Mike Wolfer, I'm not buying his stuff ever again." Well, you know what I say to that? It's a common phrase. I use it around this household all the time. Here's my words of wisdom. Keep your $5. I don't want it. Keep your $20. I don't want it. It's pretty. It's not a wise thing to do if you're in business and trying to make money. But that's how I feel. If you don't agree with me and you think I'm an asshole because I think that people should be lifted up rather than beaten down, if you don't believe that, then keep your $20. I don't need your Kickstarter backing funds. I don't need it. It's okay. If you don't want to buy my stuff ever again, that's okay. I am here, apparently, to entertain, right? That's, for whatever reason, I have this skill set that allows me to make up crazy stuff that other people find interesting. I think it would be a disservice to myself, though, to keep my mouth shut when there is so much wrong being done to the people who I'm trying to entertain. I'm seeing wrongs being done against them. I'm not going to stand by and just go, "Well, that sucks. Hey, new issue's coming out. Can I get another $5 from you?" I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put out my hand and say, "Let me help you up. And in fact, let me stand side by side with you while we try to defend ourselves against what's happening to us." So that's just me. I think you know which side of the political spectrum that puts me on. I don't need to say it. but you know, and everybody knows that's who I am. Because I think it's important. I have a voice. For whatever reason, people look at me and they look at my Facebook and they look at my Blue Sky and they look at this show and they say, Mike Wolford tells it like it is, and he seems like a level-headed dude, and he seems like a good guy because he's really all about holding hands with people, lifting them up, and standing shoulder to shoulder with them. And so, as far as PR goes, that can do you a lot of good. Be who you are on social media, because you might find yourself getting more followers because people say you're a hell of a person. Now, if your stance on social media is to bash other people, to bash people of color, to bash people simply because they love who they love, if that's who you are, as far as I'm concerned, fuck off. I will never read your work again because you're an asshole. I'm going to vote with my dollar, right? So you need to think about those things. When you go on social media, if you want to make a comment about how you hate Biden or how you hate Trump or how you hate whoever, keep in mind, people are going to see that and they're going to share it. And then other people you don't even know are going to see it. In fact, there's people who are going to see this video who may not even be comic book readers. And there may be comments in who heard, we'll see if any show up, where the troll bots come out and start bashing me for being a compassionate person. I don't care. What do I care? I don't care. I'm doing the right thing. So you need to think about that, though. That's me, and I'm comfortable being me. I'm comfortable voicing myself and voicing my opinions. You might not be like that, and you might want to keep it just on a straight and narrow. We're only going to talk about the books and the releases and how about wonderful they are and all of that stuff, and we're not going to get into politics. And that's probably a smart thing to do. But personally, you guys, I can't do it. I can't keep my mouth shut. So it may be a hindrance to me, but I don't care. I don't care because I think it's more important to be a good person than to be a successful salesperson. Money's not going to get you anything. Let me give you a little anecdote. Here's a good one, okay? And then I'm going to wrap this episode up. I met a comic book reader about probably maybe 15 or 20 years ago at a comic book convention. I'm pretty sure it was in New York City. And they really liked my stuff and all of that. And we had a great time, and they were very cool, and we've stayed in contact through Facebook. This person followed me on Facebook, and I see their posts and they see my posts, and we'll occasionally post a silly comment, just to badger each other, here and there, but we don't stay in constant contact or anything like that. We've never talked on the phone or anything. So the other day, I got a message from them out of the blue. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I read the message, and they said, hey, I just wanted to talk to you. Their heritage is mixed race. Two different nationalities, and they and their partner have 2 children now who are pretty young. And they said, I'm really scared for my kids because their skin color is a little bit darker than the whitey white folks out there, right? And so they just sort of unloaded their apprehensions and stuff on me. Now, why did that person do that? We've never had conversations like that before. But that person knew they were hurting, they were frightened and afraid for their children. They knew they could come to me just to unload, you know. So I talked to them, and we talked about the whole situation and about things that we can do in the future and how we can protect ourselves, and basically let them know, look, for whatever it's worth, I've got your back, that really meant a lot to me, knowing that someone who I'm just acquaintance with, but they knew that they could come to me and divulge, like, not only personal family information, but personal emotions and fears. They knew they were safe with me. And the reason they know that is because of my social media presence, because I let people know who I am. And I know if you need help and you just need somebody to listen to you, I'm here. And that's a service that you're not going to find in between the covers of some silly comic book, So think about that. Think about who you are and who you want to be seen as when you're on social media. And think about what's more important, being a human being or being a comic book creator. If you're lucky, you can be both. And that's what I try to be. So thank you for listening. Give it some thought. And I'll see you next week. We'll have some exciting topic. I'm hoping it'll be something happy and silly. I'm going to shoot for happy and silly next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you'll see the social media tags below. You can follow me on any of those services. If you don't like what you see, you can unfriend me. That's okay. Not a problem. So, thanks for listening, you guys. And good luck. And I'll see you guys next week.